But let's first talk about She-Hulk. Okay, so She-Hulk came out this week. It's the premiere of She-Hulk. It's definitely a comedy. It's I didn't care for the fact that the first episode had very little of her being a lawyer. It was all just set up with her and Hulk out on an island. Which, say what you want about the CGI, it's too much CGI to have. Like, it's nice when the Hulk shows up, smashes something, and then jumps out. Like when it's just the two talking, you're like, okay, you're definitely going to notice CGI problems when it's two CGI characters the entire time. But what did you think overall of this episode?
I actually thought it was pretty good,
Yeah.
And I'm usually harsh on all these Marvel, shows. So, I thought so a little bit from like the very beginning of the show, spoilers if you haven't seen it, oh well. Her breaking that fourth wall is a problem to me because it's like, because the thing is, we're just copying other characters, and that's what Marvel's doing.
They copy her. She broke the fourth wall first.
Well, but we're used to watching Deadpool though.
So that doesn't matter.
Deadpool came out,
but the comic book, she started that shit. She had a weird thing happen where she thought she was in a comic book. Like, it was perfect.
I don't know. Because I saw Deadpool first, so I'm like, okay, we've seen this already. That's my thing. So I feel like, okay, great on being original. But I guess you are in comic wise. So I didn't have a problem with the CGI personally. I liked how she was a different breed of how she took the gamma differently in her, so she could just turn back and forth whenever she wants. So it is something fresh and new, and it was something for like the original just Bruce Banner to study himself. My fear was that, okay, we're going to make her superior over someone, like I've said it before, that's defeated Abomination and Ultron and, all this, Thanos, and we're just going to make her better. Like, no, fuck off, slow it down,
Yeah.
But I kind of liked that duo back and forth on the island. I thought she was perfect of, I guess, kind of more not being so comedic, because that's what I'm over. I'm over just
of course
every superhero being funny. But it was like, I don't know, like a smart ass, but it was kind of subtle. Like, it wasn't too much. So I thought that was a nice touch. One thing that I liked was Hulk himself was when they were fighting each other, right? Getting a little mad at each other. Well, he got a little extra mad. I feel like in the fight, I'm like,
it would have been so great if he actually hulked out for a second.
Yeah, I felt like I got that for a tiny bit, but not like, a crazy noticeable amount. But I noticed it subtly, and I was like, oh shit, can we do something about this? Like a World War Hulk type thing, Planet Hulk, whatever.
That should be what's next. Yeah.
Let's see.
And in that comic book, I will say, just throw it real quick, he beat the shit out of She-Hulk in World War Hulk. He beat the shit out of her.
Where's I'm finishing up is it Invincible where he can't die? Invincible Hulk, right? Yeah. Invincible Hulk, and he beats the shit out of her there too. So
that probably like the quintessential Hulk right there is Invincible Hulk. It's like the best version of him.
Yeah, it's it's kind of like that Hulk you always wanted that could just destroy everything, but also have a conversation with. So
exactly.
But I liked how that fight though. He still like it was like he wasn't trying super hard in certain points of it, but he still had the upper hand, which as you should. Come on, it's kind of like as like a Thor versus Jane type thing, if that was to happen. I haven't seen it yet, and I know you don't like that, but
we don't even need to talk about it.
And then like this one, unlike Miss Marvel, I will say I'm interested in watching the next episode. Miss Marvel, it's not for me, but I will say that ending was complete. Like that ghetto ass Titan or something like that, what they're calling it. Oh my god, some ratchet looking destroyed human being busting through the wall, and the way she like flew across the whole like room.
It was extra cheesy.
Oh my god, but it was so bad.
I think the key is that this is like meant to be a straight up like sitcom comedy almost.
You think so? Because I was like, okay, well, everyone needs that, like, could use that opening D-list villain, so that's what I'm thinking. But then you're like, man, she's kind of a big villain for her. So I was kind of, I don't know. I'm hoping to see more.
Leader shows up. I'm like, if you're talking about a big villain for gamma powered characters, not just She-Hulk, but everybody that's a Hulk, Leader should show up, and in that way she sees it like this. But that's like too big for what she's doing now. I think this is more of just a sitcom for fun. Like, I think what would be really cool, what I'm wanting out of this series is that she defends Abomination and proves that Abomination is innocent by addiction, which is something she's done in the past with Leader.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want her to like That's what She-Hulk is best at, is showing us that the villains can be villains and not guilty of something. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's really cool about that. Like, she's the
Yeah.
kind of person who would defend Doctor Doom because he was acting in the, best interest of his country. Something like that. So,
Okay.
I think
That
that'd
would
be
be
cool.
interesting to see because we know obviously Abomination's in this from the trailer, so
Yeah, of course.
that would be interesting. I didn't even
And
think about it take
Wong.
like that. So that'd be
Abomination
cool.
and Wong, and they were fighting
Yeah.
themselves in Shang-Chi. So there's a chance
Yeah.
that something went down and they're either on the same side or one's suing the other one. We're not too sure what's going on there, but we'll have to
Yeah.
see. There was a couple Iron Man shout outs, which in the comic books I want to shout out. If you guys listen to the Sloop, all about the, not Sloop, sorry, From the Pages, our podcast called From the Pages. You guys know this because I talked about it. But her and Iron Man are like in legal battles because Iron Man injected her with a nanobot program that would take away her powers. Reed Richards negated it, but nevertheless, she's been suing Iron Man since then. So I like that there was a couple Iron Man shout outs in the episode. It was like, that motherfucker, I'm suing the hell out of him.
Yeah. Always one thing I do want to throw out, like kind of just a projection in theory, that we know that Daredevil's in this show, okay?
Of course.
So
for 8 episodes.
my villain, I didn't, wow, that's a lie. I actually didn't know that. My villain would be, what would pop up would be Absorbing Man, Carl Creel or something like that, Carl Creel or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because he actually shows up in Daredevil issue 1. So I'm like, okay, if Daredevil's showing up brand new for this and as a She-Hulk villain, I think we might see that, the Absorbing Man. So maybe we can get some type of fight where he's sucking the gamma out of She-Hulk and she kind of realized maybe I do want the power still, instead of like at first, you know how she was like, I don't really want this or anything. I just want to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
So,
I think we're going to get very little fighting in this show. I think
so.
I'm just predicting this. I don't know anything. I don't work for Marvel, not yet. Marvel, hit me up. But I have a feeling what it will be is I think Wong will be suing Abomination, and Wong's lawyer will be Matt Murdock, my guess, because they're all 3 characters that I just said are in for 8 episodes, and just Jennifer Walters will be defending Abomination, and I think that's gonna be like the case that goes throughout the entire episode, and then in the end, she'll get Abomination off. I think that'll be the case. That's my guess.
Well, I like that though. I like that theory because that would be a whole different feel to this series, which is nice.
Which is
each
what we
one
want.
needs to have their own thing.
Yeah. I'd be down for that.
I like that. I didn't know that. I'd be down.
But in general, I had fun. It was definitely lighthearted. There are moments where there is the comic book dude in me that's like, she would not fucking beat Hulk. Like, there's all kinds of that. And I love when people are online are like, how it is on Twitter, man. I'm deep into Twitter, but like, is She-Hulk a great fighter? Yes. First off, she's smarter than Hulk, like in Hulk form. She is faster than Hulk because she's more agile than Hulk. That's how she has the advantage. Strength is a whole different thing. Nothing is stronger than Hulk. And so when people online are like, oh, she's stronger than Hulk, blah, 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 blah. And then everybody else, it's like, hold on, guys. Okay, look, I will totally agree with you that she won these fights and stuff like that. And what's cool is like the clap thing that she did. She was doing it faster than him, which is the whole point. But everybody's like, oh, so she's stronger than him? And it's like, she is not stronger than him. Like let's settle that right now.
Yeah.
He's fucking Hulk. Like, come on. Yeah. But yeah, she can have an advantage. That's fine. Like, I don't understand. There's so many people on both sides of the argument that are just like totally freaking wrong. And I will admit, like, it's the comic book guy in me or the lifelong geek that's like pushing up my taped together glasses, like, excuse me. That's not the case.
I like the voice there. The thing also is like, they'll, because they're just like watching maybe possibly the movies and they're thinking like, okay, even like Captain Marvel could, because she's probably like the strongest one in the MCU right
Captain
now.
Marvel,
you gotta think, even Captain Marvel needed the whole Avengers team to try to take down the Hulk in certain like comic issues. So is the Hulk still probably the strongest character in the MCU still?
I would. Well, and that's the problem. MCU weakened Hulk so freaking much it's gross. Yeah. I can't stand how Mark Ruffalo's over here like doing yoga. And I'm like, look, I'm not necessarily a Hulk fan from the comic books. Like Maestro Hulk is definitely the one I like the most. I would, if I'm going to pick up a Marvel comic, there's probably like 10 others I would pick up first. But that's the Hulk, is his unleashing fury where, I mean, World War Hulk, you got to read it, guys. It's just insane. The guy takes on the world and breaks the son of a bitch. Like, he's so strong. It's crazy. Yeah, it's Hulk. He's awesome. He hulks out. And then there's Titan. Donny Cates is doing the Titan Hulk thing right now, which is just, I mean, Donny Cates' favorite writer, doing the Titan Hulk thing, which is basically the Hulk's Hulk, and it's really cool. Variant Comic, by the way, guys, check out Variant Comic. They were talking about Titan Hulk, and I was like, oh, I didn't know about that, and so I'm excited about checking.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.